This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network. And joining me right now is the team from Medexus Pharmaceuticals, CEO Ken d'Entremont. That's good.
Very good, Robert. That's awesome.
And CFO Marcel Konrad. Medexus will be presenting at our upcoming virtual event, the SNN.Network Canada virtual event, happening December 7th through 9th, 2021. To register and see their presentation, please go to canada.snn.network. And with that, Marcel, Ken, thank you both for joining me today. How are you doing?
It's great to be here, Robert. Thank you very much for the invite. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. So before we get into, some of the updates, because we had you on earlier this year, for those who may have missed any of the interviews that we've done over the years or haven't seen a recent presentation, Ken, starting with you, can you give us a quick one-line description of what Medexus does?
Sure. Medexus is a specialty pharma company focusing on innovative rare disease orphan drugs. So we have assets, products in both the US and Canada, with a commercial business that does about $80 million in revenue per year.
Very good. All right. So now let's get to that update. Last time we had the team on from Medexus, we published that interview on March 15th, 2021. So let's get that update. What would you say are some of the company's highlights over the last 6-7 months here? Ken, start with you.
A lot has happened in that period of time, Robert. So I think last time we were on, we were just closing the deal with Medac for Treosulfan in the US. And so, that was a pretty significant deal. Treosulfan is for the conditioning of bone marrow prior to stem cell transplant. And it has a market potential in the US of over $100 billion. So that will more than double our revenue once we get that approved through the FDA. So what has transpired with the registration of that drug is a CRL, which we received in August. That CRL is asking for additional information, all of which is readily available. So our partner, Medac GmbH, is collecting the information that the FDA wants to see, and then we will resubmit that information. They'll review it, and we hope to get to an approval probably 2 to 6 months after resubmission. So we're planning to put that new information in the first calendar quarter of next year. So sometime during 22, we do expect to have an approval. Then we move to commercialization. We also got that same drug, Treosulfan, licensed in Canada and launched in Canada. So we are now actively promoting the brand as Trecondyv in Canada. And some of the most important hospitals in the country are already using it.
Okay, Marcel, throwing to you now on this update. The company just announced its second quarter fiscal 2022 financials. Can you give us some of the highlights from that report? That, by the way, that was reported on November 10th. We're recording this interview on November 12th, just to give everybody some context.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Robert. Yeah, so yeah, we just came out of our earnings call for our second quarter fiscal year 2022. Almost $18 million of revenue. We ended up with $17.9 million. We showed sequential growth quarter over quarter, and we're very pleased to grow also slightly year over year. On EBITDA, we were $2 million negative on EBITDA invested into the Treo launch. Obviously stopped that spend halfway through when we received that CRL, and now heading into quarters where we think we continue to focus on the base business and grow the base business. On the cash side, we had a few questions on there for year end, coming out of about $18 million, going down to 10. So we're now with a somewhat comfortable level of $9.7 million available liquidity, about $8 million of cash. And we continue to monitor it obviously very closely as we go throughout the year, and continue to focus on focusing on the base business and growing the base business now quarter over quarter.
Very good. And Ken, anything you'd like to add to Marcel's update there?
No, that's an excellent summary. And I think, he's pointing out to the sequential growth quarter over quarter. We did almost $18 million this quarter. We see, one of our drugs, Ixinity, growing quarter to quarter as we've been doing some work with the channel. So we do see that growing over the coming quarters, which obviously will improve our EBITDA performance as well in the coming quarters.
Very good. And look, we're heading towards the end of 2021 here. Best made plans of mice and men sometimes go awry, or sometimes actually do happen. So, looking back on 2021, as with a couple months left here, would you say that you guys have accomplished what you set out to do this year, or are still some things that you're looking to finish out for 2021? Ken, let me throw you.
No, clearly we're accomplishing what we've set out to do. Obviously, we've gone from 10 million net revenue to a company that's now doing over 80 million net revenue in a few years. So we've on a very strong growth trajectory. The addition of Treosulfan was a major step forward because that gives us the growth potential for the future. Now, the timing of it is delayed, so that was a disappointment. But it doesn't negate the fact that we have got a very substantial asset in our hands. We're still very much on that growth trajectory. We're really pleased with where we are and where the company's going.
Absolutely. All right. Well, to close us out here today, before I let you both go, because I know you guys are very busy, I'm sure you got a couple calls even after this, having made your financials announcement only a couple days ago. So, from what you can tell us, you've alluded to this already. What would you then say are some of the company's value catalysts and or growth drivers now going into 2022?
Yeah, I mean, a very significant one is a Type E meeting that's planned for November 23rd. So in a couple of weeks' time. And that's a meeting with the FDA to review the resubmission plan, which we think is very robust. And so we'll get some feedback from them, which will, then define our resubmission timing. Which will and then in turn determine the decision point for the FDA on Treosulfan. So that'll be a very important meeting for investors. So there should be something coming out within the next few weeks. And assuming that's positive, then we move to resubmission and then subsequently, hopefully a decision point, which will be an approval of Treosulfan in the US.
Very good. All right. Well, with that, gentlemen, where can we go and find more information on Medexus Pharma? Ken, Marcel?
Anything the investor wants to see should be available on Medexus.com.
And all complaints, please go to Marcel's email. Marcel, what's that email again?
I just misplaced it somewhere.
You just forgot it, right?
Yeah, I just forgot about it. Yeah, I know it. It happens. Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. And I look forward to our next update.
Thanks, Robert. It's great seeing you.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, guys.